Have you ever felt lost, not knowing which way to go in life? Or maybe you're often stuck in negative emotions. Actually, everyone goes through moments like this. But the good news is, we can change our lives by changing the way we think. Today, I want to share 3 golden rules with you that can help you break free from the cage of negative thinking and embrace a more positive life. Hi everyone, welcome to Think Cure. Today I want to talk about a special topic, those invisible cages. Have you ever felt like you're trapped in an invisible prison? Every morning when you wake up and look at yourself in the mirror, it feels like life is full of helplessness and limitations. Maybe it's a job that you just can't get excited about. Maybe it's a past failure you can move on from. Or maybe it's those dreams you think will never come true. I really understand how that feels because I've been there too. I remember 3 years ago I was just an ordinary office worker, staying late at the office every night. At that time, I kept complaining to the people around me about my misfortune. No good job opportunities, no resources for growth, no chance to change my situation. I described my life like an airtight iron cage, and I was the helpless prisoner. But what really made me stop and think was a regular night that day. I stayed late at the office again and was walking down an empty street. As I looked at the lights in the tall buildings around me, I suddenly realized a key question. What is really limiting me? Are those things I always say, I do not have and it be impossible, really like the iron bars of a cage that objectively exist? The biggest prison in our lives is often not our external environment, but our way of thinking. This prison has no door, no lock. The only thing that keeps us trapped is the limiting beliefs we constantly reinforce in our own minds. First, let's understand what a mental prison is. Imagine this. When we face setbacks or difficulties, what are the most common reaction? We say things like, "This is too hard," "I'm not capable," or "Why does it always happen to me?" These thoughts are like invisible bricks, and over time they gradually build an unseen prison around us. Even worse, we often unknowingly keep repeating these struggles to others, seeking sympathy and understanding. On the surface, it seems like we're looking for support, but in reality, we're reinforcing our victim identity. Every time we share these feelings, the walls of that prison become stronger and stronger. But this realization itself gives us an important insight. If this prison is built by our thoughts, then we can also break it down with new ways of thinking. The key is that we need to stop doing 2 things. First, stop repeatedly describing our struggles to the world. And second, and more importantly, stop repeating these limiting beliefs to ourselves. In my experience, the biggest shift happened when I started to reinterpret every challenge I faced. For example, when I felt like there were no good job opportunities, I began to think, maybe this is the best time to push myself to upgrade my skills. When I felt like I didn't have the right connections, I started to think, could this be a reminder for me to step out of my comfort zone and build new relationships? This shift in mindset is not just about thinking positively. It is a deeper process of cognitive restructuring. It requires us to stop seeing ourselves as victims of our environment and instead view each challenge as a potential opportunity. It may sound idealistic, but next, I'm going to share 3 very specific methods that will show you how to make this shift. The first method is the 24-hour rule. So, what is the 24-hour rule? Simply put, it means that we must respond to a situation within 24 hours. This response can be making a decision, taking action, or simply giving the matter serious thought. The core of this method is to allow yourself the proper space to process emotions, while also setting a clear deadline for action. When you face something frustrating or disappointing, give yourself a maximum of 24 hours to feel those negative emotions. But you must take action right after that. Specifically, you need to grab a notebook and write down what happened in detail, then set a 24-hour countdown during this time. It's okay to feel sad or angry, but once the time is up, you must take action. The second method is the narrative reconstruction method. This involves setting aside 15 to 20 minutes every evening to write down the things that make you feel trapped and then forcing yourself to reinterpret the situation from 3 different perspectives. Imagine our lives are like a book, with each day representing a new chapter. Sometimes, because of bad experiences, we feel like the story is poorly written and even begin to believe we are failures. But when you write down your experiences and then read them from a different angle, you may realize that the things that have been bothering you are actually that scary. When you observe your own situation from a distance, you can unravel your inner knots and find new exits out of situations where you've been stuck. Let me give you an example. If you were often bullied as a child, you might have felt weak or worthless. But with the narrative reconstruction method, you can look at the situation from a different perspective. You could say, although I was bullied a lot as a child, I learned how to protect myself and became stronger. You can think about what this experience taught you from a growth perspective. Explore what new possibilities this challenge might have brought from an opportunity perspective, and find things to be grateful for from a gratitude perspective. The narrative reconstruction method is like a key that can unlock the doors to our hearts, allowing us to see a brand new version of ourselves. This isn't easy. But when you dedicate a little time each day to practice telling your story in a new way, you quickly move past negative emotions. And once you get the hang of this method, you can do this process directly in your mind. The final method, the action ladder method, is the most important of these three because it helps you immediately break free from feelings of powerlessness. This method emphasizes starting with the smallest possible action and gradually building up a ladder of success. It directly addresses a core issue many people face, knowing they need to change, but not knowing where to start. What is unique about this method is that it breaks down seemingly unreachable changes into a series of small, achievable steps. Let me explain the 3 key steps of this method and how to implement them. The first step is immediate action. The core principle here is start taking action immediately, no matter how small the task. Many people, when facing a challenge, wait for the perfect moment or better conditions. But in reality, the best time is always now. For example, you can immediately tidy up your workspace and organize your desk. Send a message to someone you've been hesitating to contact. Write down the 3 small tasks you want to accomplish today. Why start with these seemingly insignificant tasks? Because they give you a small sense of accomplishment right away, breaking the feeling of, I can do anything right, and helping to overcome that sense of powerlessness. The second step is building momentum. The key here is to set and achieve mini goals. Here are what I suggest. Number 1. Set 3 small goals every day that can be completed in 2 hours. For example, reading an article, learning a new skill, or completing a part of a work task. Number 2. Once you complete each goal, reward yourself immediately. This could be a cup of good coffee, a 10-minute break, or any small thing that brings you joy. Number 3. Record the process of completing your goals. Write down how you overcame obstacles, what you learned during the process, and how you can improve next time. By achieving these mini goals, you not only build momentum, but also reinforce the feeling of progress and capability. The third step is systematic improvement. This is the most crucial step because it helps you turn scattered actions into systematic progress. The first step is to create a success journal. Make it a new habit to record at least 1 positive change every day, noting the specific actions you took and their outcomes. The most important part is to also write about the feelings and insights you gained during the process. The second step is to perform an effectiveness analysis. While recording, don't just jot down your actions. Highlight the ones that were particularly effective. Also, note the obstacles you faced and how you dealt with them, including how you overcame those challenges. Next, create a follow-up plan. Once you've done the previous 2 steps, analyze your current state and adjust your next steps accordingly. Then, set new small goals and keep accomplishing them. If you feel like you have potential, try planning more challenging tasks. By doing this, you create a feedback loop that keeps you moving forward and building a system of consistent growth. If you believe you have potential, you can try planning more challenging tasks. The reason this method works is because it follows a simple principle. Any progress, no matter how small, is still progress, and you are much better than staying stuck in place. When using this method, the most important thing is to be patient and consistent. Don't expect to see huge changes right away. Instead, celebrate every small step forward. Over time, these tiny changes will accumulate into real breakthroughs. The key to these 3 methods isn't how complex or profound they are, but how they can be implemented immediately. They help shift our focus from I can't to I am doing, gradually breaking the mental chains that hold us back. Before we finish today's sharing, I want to emphasize one important point. Escaping the mental prison is not an overnight process. It is an ongoing journey. Like any form of change, it requires time, patience, and most importantly, consistent action. I know that when you first try these methods, it may feel unnatural or difficult. This is completely normal because we're working to change deeply ingrained thought patterns. But remember, every great transformation starts with a small decision, with an action taken right here and right now. Now, I want to invite you to take immediate action in the comments section below. Let me know, which method are you going to try first? What mental limitations are you most eager to break through? Have you had similar breakthrough experiences? Share your story and let's inspire and encourage each other. Maybe you're still unsure whether these methods will really work, that's completely normal. But what I want to tell you is that any change begins with a try. As a wise person once said, when you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. Let's take action together, break free from those invisible cages, and live the life that truly belongs to us. If you found today's content helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe to our channel, and turn on the notification bell so you won't miss out on our upcoming exciting content.